Well, hello everybody. Kevin here with Kevin's Way Works. So I found out while working on another issue that the front brake pads on my Buick Encore here were rather thin. So we're going to go ahead, take the old ones out, put some new ones in, and make this old girl happy. So stay tuned, and I'm going to show you how to do this, Kevin's Way. Alright guys, who wants to do some brake pads on a 2015 Buick Encore? You do? Let's go ahead and do it. Alright, let's see how many miles are on this thing. She's messy in here. 113,978 miles on this 2015 Buick Encore with the 1.4 liter turbo engine. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to relieve some of the weight from the wheel with my jack. I do have the parking brake on. I think we still have some pressure on it. We do. So go ahead and just give them, I don't know, just a tiny bit of a turn so they break free just enough to where you can get them off easily once the car is off the ground. Alrighty, let's jack her up. And just like that, guys, we are free. I'm going to hand turn these just because I don't have my impact driver on me. Just take your tire off, set her out of the way. Make sure she doesn't roll down the driveway and hit the neighbor's car. I'm going to turn this outward so you get a better view. Alrighty guys, so I think on this driver's side where we are, I think we can lift this up this way out of the way. So let's go ahead and see if we can. These are 10 millimeters. I am going to use a 10 millimeter wrench. Now I have already gone through and I checked all of these bushings. There's another video on it about the brakes binding up on this car, and you'll be interested to see what I found. It was not what I expected. That is for certain. So these are already done. I mean, you can pull these back and you can inspect it. But once I pull this off, I'll show you how everything looks. So let's go ahead and unscrew this guy. Just like so. And then spin it out the rest of the way. Guys, you probably should wear gloves doing stuff like this. I'm not, because my hands sweat so bad. They sweat so bad. And sweat rolls down my arms. So take this and just take it and roll it up just like that. It is that easy, guys. It is that easy. So I'm going to take this pin out here and show you guys that I've already redone it. So see, that's got all fresh grease on it. It's good to go. And then the same with the top one. This one has a rubber bushing on it. But you should always check these when you do your brake jobs, because like I said, mine was rusted in there solid and I could not get it out. So as you see, those have already been done. They look good. So first thing I'm going to do is, let's go ahead and just swap the pads first. Actually, let's not do that. First thing we're going to do is we're going to push that piston into that bore. Now before you do that, make sure that your brake fluid is not filled too far to where it's going to overflow if you do this. So make sure it's down far enough, probably halfway between the min and max, and you'll be okay. Let's go ahead and just take one of the pads off here. Now the pads on this side aren't that worn. The pads on the other side, one of the sides is really worn because the that rusted caliper guide pin. So I'm going to replace both sides. Plus the other pad on this one is quite worn. I'm going to take the pad. We're going to use it as a filler for that hole. And I like to use this style clamp because I feel like I get a better feel of whether this piston is hanging up in the bore. So I'm going to go ahead and clamp this down, and we're going to watch this to see if it goes in. And if it doesn't move at all, then we definitely have a problem. And as you can see, it is moving in with this type of clampage. And so that means we're okay. If this was binding up, there's no way I would be able to push that in. And the other way to do it, this is the way the manual it says to do it is with a C-clamp. Now don't get it on the hose like I have it right there. Make sure it is on the other side of that hose, which now I can't move it because I turned it in too far. Alright. They don't really give you a good flat spot on the back of this. Alright. Come on. Oh my goodness, guys. Kevin's having a hard time today. So, as you can see, that went in real easily. So our piston is good. Nothing needs to be nothing needs to be done there. That is good to go, guys. I'm going to slap this pad back in so you can see how it comes out. So what you're going to do is just take your pad, push it on out like so, throw it in the trash. Stick it in the metal recycling bin. They'll be glad to have it there too. And the same thing with the other one. Go ahead and pull it out. This one you'll have to rotate out a little bit because this bar right here is in the way. And you can see how these did wear unevenly. And that is because when we got this car, these pins were, two of these pins were frozen in there real tight because they used the wrong grease. They used just a regular general purpose grease that couldn't handle the heat. And they basically just turned to a glue. And that's why these pads are different thicknesses. Alrighty, pull these little hardware pieces out. Careful, they're sharp. You can cut yourself pretty good on them. Go ahead and recycle those in the metal bin if you want, or just throw them in the trash. And there's that one. Here's our new hardware. If you want, you can clean all this up. Get yourself a brush if you want to. I'm just gonna lightly spray it. These aren't too dirty. We don't have any rust or rock salt issues here, so these are pretty good already. But you can clean them up some if you want. If yours are really rusty, go ahead and really clean yours up. But these are gonna sit just fine on this vehicle because it's nice and clean. These come with some brake lube, and it tells you where to put it. Guide pins, contact surfaces, back of the pads. This has it on the top of the pads, but these don't. The edge of the pads don't ride on anything on these. And then the back, and then the ears. So let's go ahead and use this. This is actually good stuff to use. I like to use this as well, but I already used this on the other side. I'll go ahead and show you how to do this on this side. So these have a little piece right here where you can rip it off, and then it will come out just right there. Both clips are the same on this, like I said earlier, so you can just put them on either side. Put a little dab of grease, little dabby dab. You can put some up in here if you want. This is a contact point. I'll probably take some of this and put it up in here. I just can't. There we go. We'll get a little up in there, and then we'll get a little up in here. For some reason I cannot squeeze this stuff out. There we go. Get a little bit up in there. So that should be fine. Just like that. And go ahead and pop her on in. Like so. If you want to put it on the tabs here, you can. I don't do that because then I risk getting it on the rotor itself. Let's go ahead and get this one on. A little bit right here. 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 That should be sufficient. There you go, guys. Now back to the pads. Before we do that, let's go ahead and clean up here. Just going to clean these surfaces. Get some of all this junk off of them. Guys, you really shouldn't get brake cleaner, especially carbonated or chlorinated brake cleaner, on your hands, because it'll absorb into body get deposited into your fat, and it is a known carcinogen. Just a little tip from Kevin. So we have a pad that has no squealer on it, that goes on the outside. We have a pad with a squealer that goes on the inside, and the squealer always goes on the leading edge of the rotation. So the going forward, the wheel rotates this way, so you want the squealer up here so it rotates into it, just like that. And guys, I'm going to use the other stuff for this because it's just easier for me to apply it. So let's go ahead and apply some grease to this. Just a little bit on the ears, you don't need a crap load. Just a little bit there, a little bit there, like so. And like I said, this one's the inside one. You're just going to stick it in the bottom slot right there, and then you're going to rock it in place into the top slot. And then for the outside one, we're going to do the same thing. Don't need anywhere near that much, guys. Like I said, just a little bit is needed. Just a little bit. Just like that. And then this one, you gotta kind of put it in at a little bit of an angle, like that, and then you can slide it on in, just like so. Let's go ahead and put some lube up here. I want to put some on the lip here. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, I was trying to not get any on my hands, but I don't think that's gonna be possible here. So there's that. Get some on right here as well. Can you guys see that? You can't see that. Get some back here also. Anywhere that the squealing can occur, because the squealing is not really from the pad surface, it's from the brakes vibrating and squealing off metal to metal. So these do have an aluminum anti-squeal plate on them, so that really, really helps. And then just this little extra grease is just some added benefit. So let's go ahead and rotate this down into position. Just like so. Just like so, guys. Just like that. Take your bolt, screw on in. And these torque to 21 foot-pounds. All right, take your 18 millimeter, place it right up there like so. And then take your 10 millimeter socket and then torque it till it clicks. All right, guys, that is torqued. I'm just going to verify this one while I'm here. And that one's good also. Make sure your boots are still in place. All is good to go, guys. I'm going to go step on the brakes. You guys tell me if everything looks good. Tell me what you see. How'd it look, guys? Did it look good? I think we're done. Let's go ahead. I'll just look everything over, make sure everything looks good. Now's a good time to check your boot. That boot looks good. Let's go ahead. Let's get this tire back on. Get our nuts screwed on a little bit. See, that could have been bad, guys. That one went in crooked. If you went at that with a power tool, you would have messed up your stud. All right, let's back it down just a hair. Okay, now we're gonna torque that to 100 foot-pounds. Make sure I'm still at 100, because I did have 118 for something else. Okay, and then, like I said, you can double check just to make sure. that one had a little more into it. All right, guys. That's it. You did it. Back your torque wrenches out. Holy cow, I don't know about you guys, but I'm beat. Alrighty, can you see the line? The line's right there now. So we're about 3/8 of an inch, maybe half an inch from the max line. The rear pads have quite a bit of life left on them, but when we go to do the rear, we're just going to have to make sure that we don't go too far up there and overflow. So that's it, guys. That's it. Well, guys, you did it. You successfully changed the brake pads on your 2015 Buick Encore. So as you saw, that was a relatively easy process. There was one extra step on mine because the caliper pin broke off inside of the bore. I could not get it out. It was frozen in place with rust because there was a tear in that the boot. So other than that, no difference. You just technically, you really only need to undo one bolt on the back of that bracket, and then you can take all that brake hardware off, put new brake hardware in. In my case, my rotors were nice and solid already. There's nothing wrong with them. I didn't even bother resurfacing them. I just slapped the pads on. If you're changing your pad material, you're going from a semi-metallic to a ceramic or vice versa, they recommend that you do resurface your rotors. For something like this, even in the GM service guide, it doesn't even say anything about doing anything with the rotors. So we left the rotors as they were. These things almost look brand new. We don't have to worry about rock salt or rust here or anything like that. So I have vehicles that are 20-some years old that have the original rotors on them still, and they are well within specifications, and they brake perfectly. But anyway, there you guys have it. Pretty simple, like I said, and hopefully that helps you guys with your brake job. And as always, guys, I want to thank you for watching Kevin's Way Works.
Uh-oh.